It all started with a video, as so many modern fables do. A young man, bathed in the cool digital glow of an ATM screen, holds up his phone to record a miracle. He smiles, a knowing, triumphant grin spreading across his face. The machine whirs to life. But it isn't dispensing a simple $20. Or a mere $40. The cash slot begins to spit out a seemingly endless river of crisp bills. Bills pile up into a thick, satisfying stack. He grabs the money. He flashes it for the camera, and with a quick tap, sends his story out into the world via TikTok. Within hours, the video goes viral. The legend of the infinite money glitch is born, promising a shortcut to wealth for anyone with a bank card and a little bit of nerve. The tale spread across platforms like a digital wildfire. Someone hit share. Someone hit retweet. People watched the stacks of cash, the celebratory dances, and the sheer audacity of it all. They believed a flaw, a glitch in the system, had opened a secret door in the fortress of JP Morgan Chase. Through this door, they thought, lay free money just waiting to be taken. It felt like a video game cheat code had been discovered for real life. A victimless hack against a faceless corporation, right? The videos made it look so easy, so thrilling, and so very, very profitable. But here's the thing about stories that seem too good to be true. They almost always are. This wasn't a magical glitch or a flaw in the bank's code. There was no secret treasure chest that had sprung open. The reality was far more mundane and infinitely more perilous. The so-called glitch was simply a feature of modern banking, the small window of time between when a check is deposited and when it officially clears, a processing clock ticking before funds officially clear. People were exploiting this processing delay, a system built on a foundation of trust. It was less a glitch and more a deliberate, calculated act of old-fashioned deception, repackaged for a new digitally native generation. The excitement of the viral moment completely overshadowed the grim reality of the act itself. This wasn't finding $20 on the sidewalk. It was the digital equivalent of writing a check you know will bounce, but on a massive scale. The participants were not anonymous hackers hiding in the shadows. They were account holders, using their own names, their own cards, and their own phones, leaving a perfect digital trail of breadcrumbs straight to their front doors. The promise of instant cash blinded them to the simple, unavoidable truth. The bank always knows who you are. Sooner or later, it will come to collect. That was the end of the fantasy. How did a simple banking process turn into a nationwide get-rich-quick scheme? The answer lies in the powerful, algorithmic engine of social media, TikTok, X, primary vectors for this financial contagion. Perfect for short form, visually dramatic, easy to understand, promising incredible reward. Creators flaunted supposed earnings, literally throwing wads of cash in celebration. The message, look what I got. You can get it too. The algorithm pushed it to millions, framing fraud as a life hack and amplifying FOMO. So, how did this glitch actually work? It was a deceptively simple two-step process. First, write a check to yourself, often for a very large amount, like $50,000, or even more. The check was completely fraudulent, drawn on an account with insufficient funds, or in some cases, an entirely fabricated account. Then, snap a picture and upload it via mobile deposit. For a brief period, the bank provisionally credits the account, making funds appear available before the check actually clears. Step 2. The cash out. With fraudulent funds showing as available, they rush to a Chase ATM. The system sees a positive balance and allows withdrawals, up to the daily limit. Some repeated this over several days, draining as much as possible before the inevitable. The scheme hinged on the critical time gap, the few business days it takes for a deposit to be verified. They were taking a cash advance on money that never existed, hoping to disappear before the system caught up. This wasn't a sophisticated hack. Participants were regular customers using their own debit cards at well-lit, camera-equipped ATMs. Every transaction logged, every withdrawal timestamped, every face captured on high-res surveillance footage. They were signing a confession with every dollar they took, a paper trail gift-wrapped for investigators. The allure of quick, easy money was powerful, making people ignore glaring red flags. They were betting against a multi-trillion-dollar institution with whole departments for fraud detection and asset recovery. They were committing a well-defined crime. Intentionally writing and depositing a bad check to steal money is not a gray area. It is textbook check fraud. Viral buzz created a collective delusion, making a foolish, illegal act seem clever and risk-free. It was a bubble of hype, and it was about to burst spectacularly. The infinite money party didn't last long. As soon as J.P. Morgan Chase became aware of the coordinated fraudulent activity, the institution moved with swift and decisive force. The first public response was a clear and unambiguous warning. A Chase spokesperson stated, "Regardless of what you see online, depositing a fraudulent check and withdrawing the funds from your account is fraud, plain and simple. This is not a game. This is not a glitch. There will be serious consequences." The corporate giant was awake, and it was not amused. Behind the scenes, investigators flagged suspicious deposits and withdrawals over the holiday weekend. For participants, the first sign of trouble appeared in their banking apps. Accounts that briefly showed massive positives were hit with reversals, plunging into deeply negative territory. Withdraw $40,000. Now it reads negative $40,000. Holds were placed, freezing remaining funds and cutting people off from their own money. Next came the mail. Chase sent letters to more than 1,000 patrons identified in the scheme. These weren't friendly reminders. They were formal demands to return funds immediately, with itemized withdrawals. When letters weren't enough, Chase turned to the legal system, filing federal lawsuits against those who took the largest sums. Chase also cooperated with law enforcement, providing surveillance footage and related information. The message: you can run from a negative balance, but you can't run from the law. To understand the real-world impact, let's follow one individual, a 27-year-old we'll call the TikTok financier, who became a poster child for the fallout. He saw the videos, believed the hype, and decided to try his luck. He allegedly deposited a fraudulent check and withdrew a substantial amount of cash from a Chase ATM. For a fleeting moment, he lived the dream social media sold him. Instead of laying low, he posted videos of large wads of cash, flaunting the spoils. He created his own evidence, documenting his crime and building the case against him. Then the crash. J.P. Morgan Chase sued him, seeking to recover the money. The lawsuit claimed a staggering $250,000. The cash he showed off became a $250,000 liability. His celebratory posts are likely evidence in court, and the lawsuit is just part of the fallout. He faces potential criminal charges, wrecked credit, and the humiliation of being named in a fraud case. The free money became the most expensive loan of his life. J.P. Morgan filed multiple federal lawsuits across the country, transforming a trend into a federal matter. Amounts cited ranged from $56,840 to $335,000. In Texas, a defendant faces over $320,000. In Houston, one customer allegedly withdrew $290,939.47 after a counterfeit deposit of $335,000. A Florida resident now owes over $141,000.
The bank said fraud undermines trust in the system. These suits protect financial integrity.
Receipt. Timeline of the glitch. Late August, days 1 to 5. First videos circulate. Early adopters deposit fraudulent checks and withdraw cash. The algorithm takes notice. Labor Day weekend, days 6 to 10. The trend goes hyperdrive across TikTok and X. Copycat videos flood feeds. One X post reaches 7.5 million views. ATMs nationwide see attempts. Early September, days 11 to 30. The party ends abruptly. Chase identifies the fraud, issues statements, reverses deposits, and freezes accounts. Thrill turns to dread and panic. October, days 31 to 90. Over 1,000 demand letters go out, formally requesting return of funds. Federal lawsuits begin filing against large withdrawers. News coverage turns the trend into a national cautionary tale. Chase confirms it's sharing evidence with law enforcement. Behind the figures and filings lies a human story, poor judgment fueled by social pressure and a misunderstanding of finance. Videos framed crime as a clever hack, downplayed risk, amplified reward, and ignited FOMO. Groupthink set in. The perceived reward swelled while risk was ignored. Consequences: massive negative balances, destroyed credit, loan and rental denials, even difficulty opening bank accounts, facing corporate legal teams and potential court orders that follow for years. The dream of quick fortune became a nightmare of enduring hardship. In the end, the story of the infinite money glitch is a simple one with a powerful lesson. It began with the seductive promise of something for nothing, amplified by the echo chamber of social media. It resulted in serious financial and legal consequences for those who bought into the fantasy. The takeaway is as old as currency itself. There is no such thing as free money. If an opportunity online seems too good to be true, it's almost certainly a trap, with life-altering consequences. We need digital literacy. Approach viral finance trends with skepticism. Pause and think critically. Is this legal? What are the risks? Could this be misleading? Posting yourself committing a crime creates evidence that will be used against you. Banks and law enforcement easily connect online personas to real identities. Anonymity is an illusion. Every transaction, every post, every click leaves a footprint straight to your door. Next time a shortcut to wealth floods your feed, remember this story. Remember the celebration followed by a $250,000 lawsuit. The ATM is not a slot machine. The bank is not a game you can cheat. Think twice. The house always wins.